Hello everybody, welcome to this instruction video. In this video I'd like to show you how to make the square for week 8 or part 8 of the Stitch Story Crochet Along. Stitch Story has been designed by Heather Gibbs from Keep Calm and Crochet On UK. In part 8 we're going to be making this square which has this, some people call it a waffle pattern, others call it a trolley pattern, but this nice textured square. I'll show you how to work this pattern. It's a number of back post and front post stitches and doing the right ones at the right moment. So I'll take you through the rows that make up this square. I'm using a 4mm hook and I'm using that in combination with Scheepjes River Washed yarn. I'm using the same yarn for my entire blanket. I'll be showing you how to do the small square. The large square is the exact same, it's just more repeats. So I'll take you through the rows that make up part 8 of this crochet along. Thank you for watching. I hope it's a useful video for you. With a 4mm hook I've just chained 27. I'm going to start in the 4th chain from the hook, so you're going to skip 3 chain stitches and then go to stitch number 4. That chain 3 counts as your first double crochet, and then I'm going to work a double in every stitch. So I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3, then in the 4th work a double. I'm going to work a double crochet on every stitch to the end. That would give you 25 double crochets. This is just the base row so that we can start working the pattern from this row. So I'm going to do a double crochet in every chain, and that chain 3 at the beginning counts as a stitch also to give you 25 double crochets. Row 2, you have now this row of double crochets, and we're going to work front post stitches along this edge. So chain 2, this counts as your first stitch. This is your first half double or double, don't know. This is your first stitch anyway, that chain 2. Then in the next stitch we're going to work a front post double crochet. So that's the first stitch, that's what the chain 2 counts for. So that's the next stitch, but we're going to work a front post around it. So around the post from front to back, and then work a front post double. We're going to work 3. That's 1, 2, and then 3. In the next stitch we'll work a double crochet. Now this is the next stitch, that one there, and that's the top of it. So in there work a double crochet. I'm going to repeat this until we're to the end. So in the next stitch again 3 front post doubles. So in those 3 stitches, so 1, 2, 3. So front post double. Just 1, 2, and 3. And the next stitch work a double crochet. Again 3 front post stitches, 1, 2, 3 front post stitches, and a double in the next, and then again 3 front post stitches, 1, and let me just grab this 2, 3, and the double crochet, and then again 1, 2, 3, almost to the end, double crochet. We now have 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches left, so we're going to do this in our last stitches. Going to work 1, 2, 3 front post stitches, and on that turning chain 3, that's our first stitch, going to work a double crochet on that, and 2. If you turn, look from the front, you see how you've now made this edge. You've got those double crochet stitches there in between, and that's part of the pattern that we're making. Row 3, going to do a chain 2. That's again our first stitch. 1, 2. So that chain 2 is our first stitch. Then a double crochet in the next 3, and that's a double crochet on these 3 stitches that you've done the back post on in the previous row. So it's going to be very easy for you. So you work a double crochet on your back post stitches. So that's 1, 2, and 3. So here's the 3 double crochets on your back post stitches. When you find a double crochet here, you're going to work a front post double around that. Like so. And that you're going to do all the way to the other side. So you've got your those post stitches, those were front post stitches. From here they look like back posts, but they were front posts because we had to work the other way. And now you'll work 3 double crochets on those, and then a double crochet around the front post around the double crochet. These are tongue twisters if you say them fast enough. And then 3 doubles and a front post again. You can see how you're largening up this little gap here. I'm going to continue this, so 3 doubles and a front post, 3 doubles and a front post, 3 doubles, and here on your last stitch you work a double crochet. So you'll have those double crochets there, and then the last stitch you work also a double. Almost to the end here. I'm going to work 3 more double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3, and then in that chain 2 there, work another double crochet. There we go. And that repeats row 3, and then the pattern is now going to be a repetition of rows 2 and 3 until the square is large enough. I'll just quickly show you row 4 again, and from there it is a repetition of these last 2 rows. So row 4, which is a row 2 repeat, chain 2, that's my first stitch. Then on these first 3 stitches, I'm going to work a front post double crochet. So 1, 2, and 3. In the next stitch, that's there at the back, you see that was the front post stitch. I'm going to work a double crochet in there. And then on the next stitch, again a front post. And that's going to be your repeat. You work a front post stitch around these 3 stitches, and then work a double crochet in the front post stitch from the previous row. If I then look at my work from the front, you can see how you're now making another edge there, how you're flipping those stitches forward. And that's what you're going to do until you get here, And then you'll have those last 3 front post stitches from the other side, of course. Then on your chain 2 turn, remember to work a double crochet on that, because this row is then exactly the same as row 2. So even though you're not working it on this base row of double crochets, it is exactly the same. And this you're going to repeat just these 2 rows, 2 and 3, 2 and 3. Keep repeating them until your square is large enough. When you've done all the repeats, you're at row 16. For row 16 we're going to work a half double in every stitch. I'm going to do a chain 2. This counts as my first half double. It's my first stitch. I'm going to skip that position because this chain 2 counts for that. And then in the next one work a half double. And you're going to continue work a half double in every stitch till you're to the other side, and you have 25 half doubles in total. So that's just for this last row, and then you've completed the square. So work a half double in every stitch. Remember here you're turning stitch as well, so when in doubt just count, because you need 25. And to finish the square we of course need to work an edge around again. 25 stitches evenly distributed along each edge, and in the corner you work 3 single crochets. And as always I've marked that center of the 3 with a thread so that I can find it easily when we're joining squares. That completes the small square. The large square is actually very similar. So after the small square I've also made one large square, and as you can see the pattern on the large square is actually the same as the small square. You're only doing more repeats, more rows, more stitches along the length side. So I'm going to refer you to the written pattern for the large square, because it's the same idea. It's a number of stitches and then doing back posts and front posts and alternating them at the right moment. So if you can do the small square, I trust you can do the large square as well. And again, after you do your edge, here you do 25 stitches. On the large square you do 50 stitches and mark the corner where you've done the 3 single crochets in the corner. So I've done one large square and one small square for this week. If you want to, you can of course do more or less of each, so either small or large, to make a combination that works for you. Brings us to the end of this video. I want to thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time for part 9.